Have you ever opened your fridge, grabbed what looked like a perfectly fine meal, and thought, "I'm safe. Nothing could possibly be wrong here"? Well, here's the catch: your fridge might be hiding some surprises you don't want to meet. And no, it's not the mysterious leftover from last week. It's the invisible, microscopic world that thrives on your fresh vegetables, leftovers, and even the supposedly clean shelf. Today, we're going to uncover some of the sneaky dangers that can live in your refrigerator and how to keep your food and yourself safe. Let's start with the basics. Most people know that keeping food cold slows down bacterial growth. That's true, but here's something many don't realize. Not all bacteria are created equal. There are different types, some of which can survive even in fridge temperatures. Listeria, for example, is a nasty little bacterium that can grow at temperatures as low as 0 degrees Celsius. That means your fridge, even if perfectly cold, isn't an invisible shield. Listeria doesn't scream danger, it quietly multiplies, and if you eat contaminated food, it can make you seriously ill. And it's not just Listeria. Salmonella, E. coli, and even molds can sneak in, especially when your fridge is crowded, or when leftovers aren't properly covered. Now, let's talk about habits. Most of us do the same things every day without even thinking. You put raw chicken on the top shelf because it's convenient. You store eggs in the door because, well, that's where they go in the packaging. Or maybe you just shove the bag of lettuce in as is, without washing or properly sealing it. Each of these small actions can increase your risk. Raw meats can drip onto ready-to-eat foods, cross-contaminating them. Eggs in the door are exposed to temperature fluctuations every time the fridge opens. Even that bag of lettuce, if it's damp, it's a perfect playground for bacteria. And yes, organization matters. It may feel trivial, but the placement of items in your fridge can drastically affect safety. Cold air sinks, warm air rises, and every fridge has cold spots and warm spots. That top shelf, for instance, is usually a bit warmer than the bottom, so your raw meat really should go on the bottom to prevent drips onto other food. Dairy often does better in the middle or back, away from the door, which can swing open and warm things up. And vegetables? They belong in the drawers, ideally separated from meat and poultry. But let's get into some of the more surprising fridge dangers. Ever notice that little puddle under your lettuce bag? Or that sticky spot on the shelf from last week's spilled juice? These are not just annoying, they're breeding grounds. Microbes love moisture and food particles, and they multiply fast. Even a small spill, if left unchecked, can contaminate everything around it. And wiping once in a while isn't enough. Regular cleaning is essential. Scientists recommend using mild detergent or a solution of vinegar and water to disinfect surfaces. But don't forget the hidden corners and the shelves that come out for cleaning. Here's another twist. Some bacteria produce toxins that survive even after cooking. Think about leftovers. You cook that chicken thoroughly, follow the recipe perfectly, and feel proud. But if that chicken sat out too long before being refrigerated, or if your fridge was slightly too warm, bacteria like Staphylococcus aureus could have produced heat-stable toxins. That means even reheating won't make the food completely safe. It's a subtle danger because there's no smell or visible sign that anything is wrong. That's why timing is critical. Leftovers should cool quickly and be refrigerated within 2 hours, or 1 hour if your kitchen is very warm. And here's the part people often miss: fridge temperature monitoring. Most fridges have a dial with numbers or low, medium, and high. Sounds simple, right? But these are often not precise. The safest bet is using a thermometer. The ideal temperature for your fridge is between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius. The freezer? That should be at -18 degrees Celsius. A degree or two off might not sound like much, but it can drastically affect bacterial growth over time. And yes, that means occasionally checking and adjusting, especially during hot summers or when you load the fridge with warm groceries. Let's also discuss storage containers. Open containers are a no-go. Air, moisture, and cross-contamination are the enemies here. Instead, use airtight containers or wrap tightly with plastic wrap or foil. Transparent containers are great because you can see the food, but make sure the lids fit snugly. And remember, not all containers are created equal. Some plastics can leach chemicals when storing acidic foods like tomato sauce. Glass is usually safer and easier to clean. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds complicated. I just want to keep my food fresh. And you're right, it can feel overwhelming. But here's the good news. Simple habits go a long way. Check expiration dates. Don't overcrowd the fridge. Separate raw from ready-to-eat foods. Clean spills immediately. And monitor the temperature. These small steps prevent most problems and keep you safe. Think of it like a shield. Each habit adds a layer of protection. Individually, they might seem minor, but together, they create a robust defense against fridge-borne dangers. Lastly, let's talk about a few tips that might surprise you. Don't wash berries until just before eating. Washing introduces moisture that speeds up mold growth. Keep your fridge door closed as much as possible. Every time it opens, cold air escapes and warm air enters. Store leftovers in small, shallow containers for faster cooling. And if you're ever unsure whether something is safe, trust your instincts or throw it out. Food waste is unfortunate, but foodborne illness is far worse. So, what's the takeaway? Your fridge is not just a cold box, it's an ecosystem. Microbes are there, silently testing your habits, waiting for tiny mistakes. But by understanding how bacteria behave, how temperature matters, and how small actions can prevent contamination, you gain control. Keep things cold, dry, and well organized. Clean regularly, use proper containers, and respect the timing of food storage. With these simple strategies, you can enjoy your meals safely and without anxiety. And, honestly, there's something satisfying about knowing you're mastering the microscopic world hiding in your own kitchen.